For the latest from Iraq, we can cross to Baghdad and speak to France 24's Simona Fulton. Just tell us, first of all, Simona, how significant is this announcement of a new speaker, and what can you tell us about him?
Well, the appointment of Mohammed al-Halbousi as the Speaker of Parliament is the first of many steps towards forming a new government. Al-Halbousi is a 36-year-old politician who is currently the governor of the western Anbar province, which is, of course, a predominantly Sunni province. And traditionally, the Speaker of Parliament have been from the Sunni minority within Iraq as part of an arrangement to make sure that all the different sects and ethnic groups are represented. You have the Speaker who is Sunni, you have the President who is a Kurd, and the Prime Minister, of course, who is a Shia. Now, Mohammed al-Halbousi is extremely young compared to the other Sunni politicians whom he defeated in this vote in Parliament. There were 6 people who were shortlisted, including some very senior Sunni politicians, but Halbousi defeated them by a rather big margin. He secured 169 out of 329 seats, which of course came as a surprise to many because of his relatively young age, and his appointment is certainly seen to be part of the horse trading between the different parties that is ongoing to appease the different centers of power in Iraq's rather fractured political environment.
Okay, and just on a related note, that announcement of the new speaker comes at a time when the position of the country's Prime Minister, Haider al-Abadi, is looking increasingly shaky. Is he going to be able to hang on to power, do you think?
That is highly unlikely at the moment. As you mentioned earlier, the widespread protests have been targeted at the political establishment, but they have also been used by many of the political parties to really scapegoat Abadi and really pinpoint all the blame towards at him, even though the protesters have really targeted their anger at all of the political establishment. But Abadi is increasingly seen as a political liability for the parties that are seeking to form the new government, and that's something that we will see in the coming weeks, because the next step now, of course, will be to elect the new president, and the president then will charge the largest bloc in Parliament to choose a new prime minister. Now, that in itself is a big question mark at the moment, because we don't really know which one is the largest bloc in Parliament, because there's still a lot of swapping going on. You have a lot of people who are defecting from their parties that they ran for. You have a lot of parties that are splitting into several groups. So it's really difficult to say at the moment who is actually going to be forming the new government. And that decision has actually been forwarded to the federal court to decide of how exactly this should be determined. So it's still very much a question mark of who the prime minister will be, but it's looking increasingly unlikely that it will be Haider al-Abadi.
Okay, thank you so much for that update. France 24's Simona Fulton in Baghdad.